Welcome to Celebrity Grave Hunting. Today's tip: bring water. Welcome to Celebrity Grave Hunting. I'm your host, Ryan. So excited that you came to join me on this inaugural adventure together. So what is celebrity grave hunting? Well, that is where we go to a cemetery and we find the resting place of a famous person, a notable, somebody of historical pop culture significance. Actors of stage and screen, musicians, politicians, sports figures. If they were a mover and shaker, I try to locate them on the northeastern coastal area. If you go out west, you can find celebrities buried pretty much in every cemetery. So here on the East Coast, it's spread out much more. So there's a lot of travel involved. A lot of time spent online researching. There's a great resource, findagrave.com. If you go to the website, you can check out all the different cemeteries, state by state, based on celebrity status. I spend hours on it sometimes at night, just going one by one, seeing who's where. And if I want to go visit them, I make notes in my handy dandy notebook. And the best part is when we get to go out on a hunt like this. It's best to go on a nice day. You don't want it to be too hot. Most cemeteries don't have many trees. With that being said, today we are going out to find Jayne Mansfield. She's an actress, nightclub performer, singer. If you want to see a film of hers, probably the most notable is called A Girl Can't Help It. Came out, I believe, 1957, 58. Great film, one of the earliest films to really have rock and roll at the center of the film. The title track, Girl Can't Help It, is done by Little Richard, so you might have heard of that. Anyway, check it out, The Girl Can't Help It. Jayne Mansfield was also a very successful model, pinup girl. She was an early Playboy bunny. She was the first actress in a talking picture in color to be naked on screen, so she was not afraid to flaunt it. In fact, she had a bit of a soft spot for creating controversy. She liked to go to press junkets and film premiere parties wearing as little as possible, just so that her very large breasts would pop out and create an uproar. So whereas Marilyn Monroe was sort of coy and shy, Jayne Mansfield was a bit more of on the I'm gonna flaunt it kind of mindset. Now, she was born in 1933, grew up nearby in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Her father was a very prominent lawyer. He died of a heart attack in 1936 when she was 3 years old, and Jayne and her mother and her brother and sister, I believe, all moved to Dallas. So the reason she's buried here is because her father is buried here, so that is her connection to this area. Otherwise, she has never been to this town while she was alive, which is kind of interesting. And unfortunately, she died very young in 1967 at the age of 34 in quite a gruesome manner. She received massive head trauma in an automobile accident traveling late at night from Biloxi, Mississippi down into New Orleans for a nightclub gig. The car she was traveling in with her husband and business manager, they were all riding in the front seat, collided with the back of an 18-wheeler semi-rig, the tractor-trailer part, sheared the top of the car straight off. The 3 passengers in the front, the adults, died instantly. Photographs of the accident created the urban legend that Jayne Mansfield was decapitated. That is unfounded. It was not reported at all on the death certificate of any decapitation. There's a picture of the back seat, and you can see the top of what looks like a wig with a bow in it. If anything, that's probably her scalp that got peeled off, which is kind of gruesome. However, all trucks now have a bar underneath the trailer to prevent a car from being able to slide underneath it to the window, and that is known as the Mansfield bar. So we are going to pay our respects to Jayne Mansfield, a legend during life, not forgotten in death. As I approach any cemetery, I'm always a bit apprehensive. I always want to remain respectful. If there's a burial happening, I usually pass it by. I don't want to upset anybody that might be grieving. So always be respectful. And not all cemeteries are friendly. Some cemeteries will chase you off. But where we are going, Fairview Cemetery, just outside of Pen Argyl in Plainfield Township, is a friendly cemetery. And it's right up here on our right. The road is like a shoehorn. So to find Jayne, the best way that I can recommend is follow the road until you're almost on the way out. There's one way in, one way out. And it's quite a modest cemetery. Very, simple headstones. Jayne Mansfield's is about 6 feet tall, made out of white marble in the shape of a heart. So she does stand out if you know to look for that. And once you find it, you can't unfind it. You'll come upon a row of one of these pine trees and 3 identical headstones along the roadway. Stop your car there. There she is. You'll find the 3 identical headstones just off to the right here. It is Lug, von Steuben, and Mensch. And then Mensch right here leads right to Jayne Mansfield. Jayne Mansfield was notorious for her love of pink. She had a rather obnoxious house completely painted in pink, and you'll always find pink flowers on her grave. Gone but not forgotten. Please like and subscribe. That way you can join us on our next adventure.